Morning, everyone. How are you all doing today? First of all, thanks to Ames for organizing such a great event along with all the sponsors and having me here to share some of my thoughts. I've been part of RollsRoyce for the last 10 years, and I've been instrumental in building a central capability called Data Labs, which predominantly focus on data innovation for Rolls-Royce divisions and central functions, actually. So what I'm here to share with you is few of the thought process that worked for us in last 10 plus years in terms of creating some value impact to our organization in digital transformation solutions. I want to create a caution here. Not a single solution work for multiple industries. So I kept it as generic as possible so that we can have a debate at the end and have some question and answer actually. With that, I just wanted to, all right, so I'll start with the introduction to Rolls-Royce. Some of you might be wondering in this room, where is the car in this picture? Why Hari is hiding the car in the picture? How many of you think that we make cars? Oh, good. We don't make cars. We stopped making cars long ago. But we do a lot of other good stuff, like aero engines for aircrafts and defense purposes. Also, we make quite a lot of engines which powers big buildings, marine ships, and data centers that we are all using right now, right? So if I want to give a quick introduction about Rolls-Royce, we've been at the forefront of innovation for more than 100 years in terms of powering, protecting, and connecting modern world, actually. What I mean by that is there are three core business areas that we work on, which is civil, defense, and power system. To talk about civil, we are one of the major engine manufacturers for large commercial aircrafts and business jets and regional jets. How many of you know that we powered the very first commercial aircraft of India, which was flown in 1932 by Tata, right? And if you happen to take a flight between Delhi to London or Delhi to New York next time, most probably you'll be ended up in a latest aircraft called A350, which is powered by one of the most efficient commercial aircraft engines, actually. That's about our presence in terms of civil, and we are growing in India as I speak, actually. We got good orders from Air India, and we are expecting more orders from other airlines too. And the second thing is all about defense, actually. It's about we are the market leaders in terms of providing engines for transportation, military transportation, and military patrol. Also, we have a very, very competitive position in combat applications, actually, right? In India, our government is one of the very key customer for us, and we've been supplying quite a lot of engines for our defense, in IAF and other areas, actually. Excuse me. And last but not least is the power system. We are one of the largest manufacturers of high-speed reciprocal engines, diesel engines, which basically powers trains, ships, submarines, and data centers, actually. So we have operations in Pune and Bengaluru in India, and we've been close to 300 to 400 people in India. We've been supporting Rolls-Royce big time, actually. With that introduction, data and analytics is not something new for Rolls-Royce. We've been using it for more than 10 decades in terms of improving our product efficiency and safety and availability of our products. So in 2017, we found that it is important to have modern technologies onboarded into our capability so that we stay relevant in the market as well as we accelerate the data innovation, what we are already doing, actually. So what we decided to, we create an internal capability house called Data Labs. So we started our journey in 2018, and we've been working as an internal capability for various digital transformation initiatives within Rolls-Royce. And our journey has been underpinned by three key principles. One is people, value, and resilience. So what I mean by people is having the right talent and right domain alignment so that the people understand what they are working on and their impact has been clearly aligned to the strategic objective of the companies. And the second thing is value. Value is all about whatever the digital transformation we are trying to do, are we doing the right thing, which making sense to our end stakeholders or end personas who is using it, and it is creating either an impact on the top line or bottom line. So all our digital transformation projects are picked from the perspective of, it's creating a value which is measurable and quantifiable. And the last but not least is the resilience. Resilience is all about, right, once we start delivering something, how to sustain it and how to repeat it, actually. So we achieved it by having a good operating model as well as a very good collaboration with the ecosystem partners. Especially in India, we partner with multiple, service providers, and we get the best out of them, and we deliver, consistent value into our systems, actually. With that introduction, it's been challenging, right? So, like most of us, even we went through quite a lot of challenges during the thing. There are some challenges I want to highlight it, and in RollsRoyce, we kind of changed the process a little bit and changed our approach a little bit, tweaked it so that we could able to counter some of the challenges. So some of the common challenges that we all encounter is starting with the value for the technology that we are buying in, because we are in an era where the technology is emerging significantly, right? There are so many tools and opportunities, and it makes us to think that why can't I just start using it and unlocking some values, right? So we also get a feeling that if I don't use this technology, am I going to miss the bus, right? There is a significant amount of pressure is created by the market, as well as your CXOs or the organization. What are you guys doing about it? There are technology going in the market. Why are you not adapting it? Why are you not unlocking value and all those kind of things? So, but the question is, they also ask for an immediate return on the money that they wanted to invest in. So that's one of the key challenges that we have faced. And the second one is impactful analysis. In a data silo world, and as well as the data quality is being always a challenge to achieve the best in quality, as well as trustable data sources. Is the data right? Is it being properly entered? And all those questions are there. With that kind of a data, achieving an impactful analytics is being another challenge that we found. And also, choosing the right problem statement to apply the data analytics is another challenge we found. So that's a continuous challenge for us. And when we started modernizing ourselves more and more, cyber threats are increasing, and companies like us are predominantly focused on building on our strengths. We have a great IPs, we want to protect it. Any cyber threat could cost us a reputational damage for us. So that is another big challenge we keep watching out. But last but not the least is the talent, actually. So we had talent kind of a decade before, is not the same talent that what we have today. So the question in our head is, are we having the right talent? Are we investing in the right training of the talent? Or should we have better talent? Or should we collaborate with the better partners to bring in the talent? So there are a lot of questions going on back and forth because of the various solutions that we are trying to put in based on the new technology emerging and everything. So that's an ongoing challenge, and also there is a significant competition going on in the market to retain the talent. That's another angle, actually. Whatever said and done, we still need to create a meaningful impact for our businesses irrespective of the challenges. Otherwise, we wouldn't exist in the system, actually. So in RollsRoyce, we follow quite a lot of things. I want to highlight some 4 small practice or approach or a concept, whatever you can call, that helped us in terms of navigating some of the challenges. The first one to start with is, all of us understand the hype cycle, actually, right? So the technology comes and we understand the hype cycle. We've been pressurized by the hype, right? Why can't I immediately adapt LLM? Where to adapt LLM? Why should I use LLM? Why not other options? But there is always a constant pressure, and it creates a feeling that I'm going to miss out something very big here if I don't get the technology, actually. But in RollsRoyce, we started questioning ourselves a little bit, take a step back and understand how relevant and how viability any of the new technology that is emerging, right? And we found out that some of the problems what we are working on doesn't need a greater technology. It needs a greater approach, actually, right? So use the technology as a tool rather than as a decision driver to make solutions for your organization. To put it in a context, we did a small search of how people searching some common terms like digital technology, digital transformation, and artificial intelligence. And we looked at it is from Google search trend. We looked at the pattern. The pattern tells that there is a continuous sustained upward trend on the common trends like digital transformation and artificial intelligence, which is very clear. So we also picked up some of the technology which didn't make it to the way it was hyped at the very beginning and looked at the search trend. That's what we found, right? Virtual reality, 3D printing, sustainability, we took technologies across, not in a single area, as you can see, and we saw a seasonality. And we believe that seasonality is kind of related to the strategy cycle that every company tried to do. As you can see, every year there is a search for those technology, and to understand what can I do about, how can I use this technology in my organization. So they build a strategy. But the interesting part is that seasonality is declining actually. So we understand that not always technology which are hyped need to be adapted and made solution out of it actually. This just to put it in a context. So the question that we ask all the time is, should we worry about fear of missing out, or are we really missing out something that we are already in a course of delivering actually? Right, that's number one. The number two is, any digital transformation would be looked at transforming a process or transforming the way we do things. In RollsRoyce, we understand there are three key elements define the complexity of the process, which is human, machine, and data. The interaction between these three defines the complexity and importance of the process, actually. I know most of you in this room would be doing a design thinking workshop where interaction analysis is there. But we try to do it a little differently, the same analysis, to understand the experience and the economy impact of that particular process. If I want to put it into a context with a simple example, let's assume you're booking a ride tomorrow, right? Or in the past. So you come out, wait for a cab to appear, then the cab comes and you negotiate the price, then you navigate the journey, then reach the destination and negotiate the tip and settle it down. There is significant human-to-human interaction that you see in here. So what happens in terms of experience and economics, actually? Let's look at the experience, right? So we are neutral when we want to wait for a taxi ride. But when we start waiting for taxi show up and everything, our experience is going down. And when you started taking the taxi ride, the experience is going up and you're happy. Then finally, when we're settling down, there is an experience downward. What it does to the economy of the process, actually. So there is a cost impact or the value impact in terms of this process. Whenever your persona is unhappy, that means you're losing value or spending more money in doing that, actually. There is a relation between your experience and the economy of the process that you drive in a company, actually. So we try to understand this, actually, right? And then put the technology what you chose based on the first approach in a right space so that you know that you're going to create an impact which is directly, deliver some value into the system, actually. That's the second approach. And finally, if I were to play, how does it look? Now you all have Uber and Ola apps. If you look at it, there is no human-to-human interaction. Everything is human to machine and machine to data and human to data. And you get things done, actually. If I were to look at what we have done similar in RollsRoyce, I'm not sure how many of you know about our maintenance, repair, and overhaul operations. It is something very similar to you taking a car for the services, right? So before the service, we need to induct the machine, we need to induct the engine and understand the scope of the engine, then kit it, then build it, test, then ship it, then invoice it. This is the process. We tried understanding the economy of, the delay and the inventory and all those things caused through this process understanding, and we could able to put solutions could able to see some real value in within a matter of year, and people started seeing that, change in the way the behavior and everything happens in the system, as well as the cost spent on running that process, actually. The third one is about, once you have the process identified, once you know the technology, you need to implement it. So when it comes to implementation, IT and digital plays a huge role. We in RollsRoyce, we see IT and digital as a continuum. right? If I were to assume the ITL digital continuum as 6 different layers, starting from infrastructure to operation technology to systems of record to data to intelligence and experience, what I mean by infrastructure is the basic necessity with the security and everything. Operating technology is your connected product, whether it is a machines or anything that it's connected or systems, and systems of record is your ERP systems, backbone of your running the company. Data layer is about that layer which is actually helping people to make access to the right data, and intelligence is where your AI engine is sitting, and experience is where user is actually getting it. What we understand is any digital solutions that we're trying to roll out in an organization all the 6 layers has a role to play, right? So we need to leverage the strength of each of this layer rather than building in one single layer, actually. So for example, if there is a native capability of an ERP system that drives significant value into your solution, I would look to leverage it rather than creating a customized solution on top of it, actually. Very simply put it. And we come across at least 2 or 3 layers minimum involved in terms of any digital transformation of projects in anything that we did in RollsRoyce. Finally, whatever said and done, unless you get your data right, you're not going to achieve anything, right? So data is the king. So what we do in the data space, that's another thing. Apologies. What do we do in the data thing, actually? So we aspire to democratize the data. That's a philosophy that we follow in. And why we so? Because data is not a kind of asset of a single function or something like that. It should be used by everybody in the right sense, right manner, actually. How to achieve it? Create a domain, joint ownership of data, right? You work closely with the domains and functions and allow them to play around with you in terms of creating a trustworthy, right quality data. And it's a joint ownership. It is not about, central digital or CIDO organization owns the data. It is a joint ownership between the functions and the and the technology team. So that's number 1. And then number 2 is about, okay, once you get the data, how do you know it is actually creating some value for you? So you productize the data, actually, right? Who can productize the data? Only the domain owners and the function leads can define the requirement for the product, how the data product is going to be used. So, okay, once it is defined as a product, do you know how it is impacting? How many times it's been used? Where it has been used? Who is accessing it? Actually, is it really making any sense? So you can put a measure around it. So productize the data. So once you have the right data and productize, you make it as a product out of it, it is also important to make sure it is available to everyone to access in a right manner. So you need to have a self-service data platform, which is very user-centric, not designer-centric, actually. So we spend a lot of time and effort on building user-centric data, self-service data platform. And last but not the least, a federated governance. A business like us, we are, we've been operating in a space of defense and aviation, which is safety and other government criticality is very important that we need to take care of it. So you need to know where your data are traveling, how it is, how it's been handled. So it's a federated data governance. It's a combination of your technologists plus your people who handle the statutory, like expo control, GDPR, and all those people come together in terms of defining the governance model and build it part of the data management framework what you have, and create a tool around it and make sure that it has been properly governed and tracked and served, actually. That's what we are doing in the data. I want to leave one final thought. We're all working on data to intelligence. It will make impact only if it is a purpose-led. That's what we understood over a period of time. With that statement, I want to thank you all for patiently listening to me, and thank you very much for the opportunity again. Thank you. Happy to take any questions if there are.